up, Fertility fam? How are you? I don't know if anyone is going to join. It's the middle of the day. Sugar Bear was asleep, but he woke up after I set the stream. So we'll see how long this lasts. But I just wanted to come in and do a mental health check in with everybody. I appreciate everybody who checked on me and left their kind words. Always, always, always appreciated. I did have a talk with the psychiatric nurse yesterday. I had an appointment, so that went well. She thinks I'm fine. Like I don't, meaning I don't need to change my meds. She's the one who does the meds. I am looking for a different therapist because the one that I had, well, I don't even know how to explain this. At work, inside of our building, there is a healthcare center with doctors, nurses, therapists, and they know every time I start talking to you guys, Liberty wants to get in on the action. But they switched companies, and so I don't know exactly where that therapist is, and I'm obviously not in the office now, so I don't really know how to research it. Anyway, long story short, I need to be on the hunt again for another therapist. But no, you can't get over here because the baby's over here. You want me to put my legs out? You want to lay on my legs? Because you can't come over here. Uh-oh. So yeah, that is kind of what's going on there. But I feel better, I will say. So I'm kind of hopping in the middle of the vlogs you guys haven't seen yet, where the doula came over, Shamika, and that helped a lot. But I will have to say, like, she helped with the laundry, like from washing, drying, folding, putting away, which was a huge time save for me. She did the dishes. She did them by hand. She didn't want to use the dishwasher, which I thought was super sweet. And just she offered to make me meals. I ended up making like food for both of us. The first day I totally forgot to feed her. I don't know why she didn't say anything, but it's okay. It is what it is. But yeah, so that was nice. She came over for 2 days, but I do have to say it almost felt, oh, that's justice in the, it sounded like somebody was scratching records, but it was almost justice. Stop it. Felt indulgent. You know what I mean? Like to have her help. Oh my goodness. Justice, can you come out of there, please? I was worried about, oh, now you're up. I was worried about the baby and it ends up being the puppies. Yes. Hi, Liberty. Okay. Okay. They're like, if you got time to talk to other people, you got time to talk to us. So I see 26 people in here, but nobody in the chat. If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. Hopefully you can hear me and I'm not talking to myself. But yeah, so all is well. It was good that she came over to help. We also like did a walk in the park, which was nice, and just chatted. It was super therapeutic for me. And also she gave me tips on breastfeeding. I can't remember. She sent me a link yesterday too on some breastfeeding things. I think I need to join. Thank you, everybody. Brown Eye Queen, Be Black, Shamara, Nicole, Tracy, Jen, Sharif, Sudi. Is it Sudi or Sudi? Hello. I think I need to join a breastfeeding group, like a support group, so I can have women to talk to like in real time. I don't know how, if it's in person, online, or whatever, but I need to figure that out. Just because the struggle is real. I think we're in a good place. I just weighed Sugar Bear today, and he is no Liberty. Come over here. You can't get on my lap because the baby's on my lap. Come right here. Okay, that's it. No, you can't get on my lap. I just said that. You got to sit right there. Right? Oh, okay. Okay. The baby doesn't like that. You're wiggling too much. What was I saying? So lactation group. I think that will help. She did send me a link on some lactation tips. And I've done it before, so I feel like I'm probably a little stubborn and like I want to keep doing it. I know a lot of people probably would have given up by now, but it is important to me, like to give him breast milk. And so there's some in here now. I had to shake it up because the fat layer was getting separated. No. And I'm going to put you outside if you don't stop. Get down. Get down. Down. Thank you. Whew. Okay. But yeah, so I'm just gonna push through. Oh, that's what I was saying. I weighed him today. He was 11 pounds, I think 4.5 ounces, and he was only 10 something last week. Which last week when he went for his 2 month checkup, the pediatrician finally agreed to give him medicine for the reflux. So he's been taking that. It hasn't completely solved the issue, but it's better. So I feel like he's getting more calories, or he's keeping more calories. He's getting the same amount, but he's retaining them, so that's good. Thank you. Uh-oh. This is my sister calling me. Hold on one second. Can I call you right back? Okay, I'm on a live. I'll call you. Okay. All right, bye. So yeah, that is what is going on there. So I feel like, no, now you think somebody's at the door. Hold on, let me let them outside because they're about to drive me crazy. Let's see if I can get up with one hand. Okay, come on. Come on, outside you go. Come on, Liberty. Out, you guys go. Go. Justice. Come on. Go outside. Oh my God. Justice. Come on. Out. Come on. Okay, well, you're going to have to sit down. Sorry about that. I got one of them out. Justice decided she didn't want to go out, but she's sometimes quieter, so hopefully she'll behave. They figured out when I have the baby in the hand, they can kind of get away with whatever the hell they want to get away with. But it's boring. Oh, no. Lord have mercy. I had a dream about work the other night. I hadn't thought about work in forever. I had a dream. It was like a very stressful dream. And then I woke up and I was like, oh God, I don't have to go back. It really is a dream. Ma'am. I'm gonna kick their ass. Sorry, Sugar Bear. Ugh. Okay. Come on. Go ahead. Oh my goodness. Imagine if you guys were here. You're not even in the room with me, really, and they think you're here trying to get your attention or my attention or somebody's attention. But yeah, so it just is. He's gaining weight. I had a bad dream about work. Glad I'm not at work. Although I still have Teams on my personal phone, so sometimes I see some of this stuff coming up on my projects and I just like shake my head. A part of me wants to call and help, and then a part of me is like, they will figure it out. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, stop that. Okay. He's actually cooperating. Sometimes he does not like, hey, Ode to Chef. I didn't even realize that was you on there. um, Thank you. Oh yeah, the baby weight from all the breastfeeding. Girl, I lost my little butt. I had a cute little butt when I was pregnant. It's gone. It's all gone. But yeah, I oh my God, my brain is all over the place. What was I saying before I looked down at the comments? Oh, he is being patient and taking the bottle. A lot of times when I'm holding him like this with the bottle, he'll be like, quit playing, I want it from the tap. So usually I have to like lay down with him and give him the bottle and have like cover in between us, but he's being patient with me. He just woke up. Is that right, Sugar Bear? Is that right? But yeah, it is just it's a lot. There's a lot going on. But I'm gonna focus on the positive and I'm gonna take it one day at a time. There's a part of me like, and that's what I was telling the nurse yesterday during the appointment, that feels like I have to be checking off boxes and getting stuff done. And the truth of it is it can all wait. Like if the dishes don't get done, the dishes don't get done. The important thing is like bonding with him and having time with him, and not like I'm creating to-do lists every day like I'm home alone. You know what I mean? And that is not always practical. So we're just going to take it day by day. But definitely I can feel like my hormones fluctuating. After going through fertility treatments for so many years, you get attuned to your hormones, and I could tell like I was like fluctuating, and it was just not well, I don't want to judge myself. I don't want to say it was not. It was just I was very hormonal. Let me say it like that. I was very hormonal and trying to go with the flow and trying to be quote unquote normal instead of just accepting it for what it was and like letting that moment be. So I think now I'm a little, calmer. I have more perspective on it, and it just is going to be what it's going to be. But I'm definitely enjoying him, and he's growing well. He hit all his milestones. Yeah, everything is good. Everything is good. And so I've been out for 10 weeks. And so, like, 2.5 months. So I have 4.5 months left. So I'm focusing on just like getting in the groove of things. I keep watching all these videos, and these people have all these routines. Sis, how do they have these nighttime routines already? Part of it is too like the breastfeeding on demand. It's hard to get a routine. Sometimes he wants to eat every 2 hours. Sometimes he wants to eat every 3 hours. The doctor is like, don't let him go more than 3.5. So I have to wake him up to feed him sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't want to go to sleep. So it just really is hard to like have a routine. There are things, obviously, breakfast, sleep, walking the dogs, going to the park, but I wouldn't call it like routine per se. Um, Meaning every day it can vary. Like it's not scheduled. That's what I should say. Every day it can vary. Yes, I know. I think I did a good job too. And he has the same blood type as me, and he has a dimple on the same side. So it's funny. Somebody sent in my DMs the other day, like, how are you going to deal with it when people say he looks like you? I was like, I'm just going to say, okay. Her friend has a donor conceived baby, but it's not donor egg, it's donor sperm. And so she was, wondering like how they will deal with that if people are like tell the dad like, oh, it looks like you. I think it depends on how open you are. I mean, most people who know me know, but even if they don't, I think part of the process, well, at least, I share part of my process of choosing is so that the child, we would look like we were related. If not mother and child, that we would look like we were related. And I think that happened. But it's a touchy subject because I know some people are never going to tell their children. And so you can't tell a stranger or a family member if you haven't told the child, right? Where I feel I have a little more freedom because it's just going to be a part of his life. It's just going to be a conversation, ongoing. Like I got the books about double donor. I've been reading it to him. Of course, he's not understanding everything now, but his brain is a sponge. I feel like on some level, it's being absorbed, just like speech is being absorbed, right? He doesn't understand everything I'm saying, but he's taking it all in, if that makes sense. So, hi, BU now. Hello, Sylvia on the go. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Kimmy. Kimmy Kim X. Yeah, so it's interesting. I wasn't sure how many people would come in the middle of the day. I'm like, I'm just gonna see y'all. Maybe people are at lunch on the West Coast. Who knows? Maybe some people have the day off. Maybe they listen from their desk. Because I know at work I was listening to all like the trials commentary, like the Johnny Depp and all that. I listened at my desk. I have been watching also. I watched the Lori Vallow trial. Um, I'm waiting on this trial in Vegas. Well, now I can't even think of the man's name, but he's representing himself. He was doing all sorts of shenanigans. He worked for the city, and there was a reporter who was onto him and reporting on him in Las Vegas, and he murdered the reporter. And they have all kind of video footage. He was in his wife's car. His DNA was there, but he's alleging that he didn't do it and that he's representing himself. So he's gotten into it with the judge a couple of times. So that's in my spare time. I watch it. Well, it's on in the background because it's a trial. You don't really need to look at the screen. You can just listen to it. But yeah, um, that's how we're spending our days. And then reading to Sugar Bear. He's making the funniest faces. Can I take this away? Let me see. He's not sucking at it anymore. Yay. And he got his shots last week, his first. Well, I think he got shots in the hospital, but like his first shots since the hospital. And it was like, babies all make that same face. Like I'm holding his hands, I'm in his face, like smiling at him, getting him to laugh. And then that first shot, they don't immediately respond, and then all of a sudden he was just screaming to high heaven, and I felt so bad, and it bruised up his little thighs, and then she still had one more to do. I was like, oh Lord, how many times do we have to do this? But yeah, he was okay. And then she gave him the okay to take Tylenol. It's like a very small amount. She said for fever, but I also gave it to him for pain. I think also that's why she waited to give him the reflux medicine, is she was either waiting for him to hit a certain weight or a certain date. But it's such a like minuscule amount. And I went and got it, and I'm thinking they will give me like the dispenser to give him the medicine. They didn't. And I think I'm just used to the fertility drugs where they everything comes with a syringe or a needle. Everything you need is in there. So I'm in here trying to dole out because it was like, oh, I left it over there. It's like 0.25 milliliters. And so it's just, but so far it's getting better. Hello. Yes, thank you for the blessings. All is well. All is well. Getting through day by day. Yeah, so I still have things to edit. The doula and I are going to record my birth story on Friday. And then she's also going to we'll do a separate video on like what entails hiring a doula. It's funny because I talked to the psychiatric nurse yesterday, and she was like, "What's a doula?" Because she used to be a midwife. She didn't know what a doula was, and a couple other people I talked to didn't know what a doula was. So I think that'll be fun for you guys. At least I'm sure most of you guys know, but like, what exactly can you expect from your doula? How to interview them? A birth doula versus a postpartum doula, or it could be the same person. Their duties are different, right? And so, what does that look like? Knowing what I know now, I definitely would have had a postpartum doula booked sooner, just because I was not expecting the cesarean, and so it sort of threw me for a loop. I thought I was going to go to the born place, and having the cesarean and having his weight issue kind of threw all of that out of the window. So yeah, you just never. Well, I shouldn't say you never can plan. I mean, you can schedule a C-section and I just didn't expect my induction to fail, which I haven't even told you my birth story, but the induction failed. I mean, obviously you know that because I had a cesarean, but that wasn't in my train of thought. So that kind of threw me for a loop, but having her here like last week made all the difference. It's just been little things, but that's also how I know it's hormonal. Cause like after she left the second day, I just cried. Like I was so grateful. I just like burst out into tears. And then also I got my carpet clean, and after they left, I felt so much better. After the guy left, I just cried about that. I told my sister, like, I feel so relieved. And I think she was like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "It's okay. Take a deep breath." But it's just like, as the hormones flush out of your system. But when I had my 6-week postpartum, the doctor was like, they're not going to be all gone because you're breastfeeding. So you're still, I think she said I'm producing a lot of progesterone. I have to look it up. But so figuring all that out, it just is. Part of you wants to go back to normal, but there is no normal per se. It's like everything's going to be new. It's all going to be different. The body is different. The brain is different. Part of it is, I read this somewhere. Like, I don't want to say it like makes you less smart, but there's a part of your brain that's super protective of your child and also in love with your child, right? And so there's a lot of stuff that kind of gets warped. Basically, I just feel like mushy. That's how I'll describe it. I feel like mushy. And then I get frustrated for being mushy. Hey Blue 100 Angel 104 Blue in the house. Just wanted to say thank you for sharing your experience and you were doing it. Thank you so much. Hello Mina, how are you? All right, talk to you later, Brown Eye Queen. I will definitely take care. I appreciate the love and the hugs. And Sugar Bear says hello too. Wait, let me see. You want to say hi? No. Oh, you stretching? Okay. Okay. All right, Mom. I put you back down. Say you don't want to be on display. Okay. Um. Hello, Shamika. Staying positive. So yeah, we are just getting it on day by day, and I'm learning, working on giving myself grace. This video I was watching vlogs. Came off of mute. I must have hit it. Okay. So yeah. Hey, Hope and Victory. Hello, hello. So yeah, and then I just have to figure out like what it looks like going forward. Like I said, I have like 4.5 months left. What does that look like? Maybe I have somebody in once a week. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not going to worry about it right now. My main focus is him getting healthy, having activities. I was watching somebody's vlog and they mentioned like, hey, they might have stuff at the library for the kids. And sure enough, there's, well, first when Shamika came over, she said she had waited at a library near here. So I looked it up. It's like the Harry Belafonte library. And then I saw the vlog about like free stuff at the library, and they have stuff for 0 to 18 months. They have like a story time. They have one online and one in person. So I think next week, well, the goal is next week we're going to go to a story time in person. So he'll meet other kids. I'll meet other moms. It's like an appropriate activity for him because so far he's only been to the doctor's office, either mine or his, or the hospital when he had to go for his X-ray, or Rite Aid. Oh, he went to a restaurant in the park, but you know what I mean, like kid centered activity. So that'll be just for him. And then we're going to do, I was going to do it last week, but after his shot, he was, like I said, he wasn't feeling well. He did end up with a fever the next day, but it's called Tummy Time in Central Park. It's on 77th in Central Park. So we're going to do that next week, Thursday. So just some activities for him. We're going to do swimming. I'm just not sure when. I have to sort that out. And I need to get him. I was waiting for him to gain a little more weight, but now that he's over 11 pounds, I feel like it's good. I need to get him a swimsuit, and I need to call them because I'm like, when they have the swim class, I'm sure they have floaties, but there's like so many different kinds. Like they have them on the arm. They have some that are around the waist and on the arm. If anybody has any experience, I always wanted a doula. Yeah, they are amazing. They're definitely amazing. And even though, like, the next time, and I'm not saying I will, but my mind moves ahead. If I do have another one and I do have a cesarean, which I would have to have in order to stay within a certain timeline, I would still have a doula because my doula came into the what do you call it, the operating room with me, and she ended up cutting Sugar Bear's umbilical cord. My sister got locked out, so she couldn't come into the surgery room. Like she wasn't in the hospital. I think once they started prepping me for surgery, they wouldn't let her in anymore. So they actually made her wait downstairs. They wouldn't even let her into the old room because they were prepping that for a new patient. So yeah, I have photos of it. Shamika did his umbilical cord. So, yeah, that was nice. I don't know, I'm like an energy person, and I felt like it was better for her to do it than like a complete stranger in the hospital. I'm sure they do fine, but she and I had already met. I feel like the baby had heard her voice. We had already connected energy. I just felt like that was better than random person in the hospital. I'm sure it would have been fine, but yeah. I just had a baby via surrogate, my baby. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Yeah. So Sugar Bear will be 10 weeks. What's today? Wednesday or is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday, right? He will be 10 weeks on Friday. How is it? Like, I know sometimes when you do a surrogate, you can prep to breastfeed. Did you decide to breastfeed? Did you decide to formula? No judgment. I'm just curious. And how has it been? Hopefully you are both have fallen in love with each other and everything is going well. It's a roller coaster ride. And this baby is so different than the first one, like I don't even know how to explain it. I think he's happier. Cheyenne was a happy baby, but this little one is like happy all the time, which is nice. Uh-oh, did you scratch yourself? You did? Uh-oh, or did the dogs do that? I'll fix it in a minute. But you never know. And also I think like there was just so many people in and out of my house. With Cheyenne, it was hard in the beginning. Like her, I was gonna say her in-laws, her dad's people were, coming to visit, and it was just very disruptive. And so there was a lot of stuff going on. So I don't feel like we bonded as fast right away. I mean, we eventually bonded, of course, but like there was just like people wanting to hold her, and it was a lot. So this time I did not have anybody over. Obviously Cheyenne came over, his sister was here, and then my cousin from California, we had talked about it, the one who I had the baby shower at her house, she came out, but she didn't stay that long. So it was just the two of us, and like, okay, how about this? You want mommy to get off the live and pay attention to you? Are you okay? Can we talk for a few more minutes? Do you think so? Because I thought you were going to take your nap. Yeah, so that part was nice. Yeah, he likes to chill. He's like very smiley. We read a lot. We play a lot of different games. So yeah, and also I think I just know more about parenting, I guess. I have a whole 29-year-old, so I know more about like parenting and picking up on cues. I also am able to like know going into it what the cues are for hunger. Like when I had her, you go through the one breastfeeding class, but you haven't seen it before. And so I think that was hard too, like establishing the breastfeeding before, because there are so many people. So if someone's holding her, they may not see the hunger cues right away until it's like super obvious. And you don't want to wait until the baby is crying to be like, oh, now the baby's hungry. They give you other cues. And that kind of got disrupted because there were so many people in and out with Cheyenne. So we didn't have that. But my supply was not as much. Like I figure youth was on my side and vaginal delivery was on my side with her. So by the grace of God, we had a successful journey. I breastfed her for over a year. This time I can see the cues and everything else, but and I'll tell you in part 2 of my birth story, there were some stressful things that happened at the hospital after he was born. So that I feel like impacted my supply. I've heard from some of you ladies and then did some research that having a cesarean can impact your supply. Obviously my age is probably impacting it. So I've had to work harder as far as like pumping. I don't think, first of all, there were no electric pumps when Cheyenne was born. So it was a manual pump. And the conventional wisdom is like you wait 6 weeks before you pump, or in the hospital, I pumped while I was in the hospital. And then the pediatrician is wanting me to pump like way prior to finishing out the 6 weeks. And so that has just been different too. It's all worth it. It's just as like you have it in your mind, it's going to go one way and then it goes a different way. And I think that's just the thing with babies. Like you can have an idea, you could have a plan, and it could all go left. You don't know what's going to end up being what. Claudia Lee, I'm 45 and currently 7 months pregnant. I'll be 46 when I deliver. Never lose hope. You can say yes. Congratulations. When is your due date, Shamika? I'm missing things here. Let me go back. Congratulations, Carl. I'm right ahead of you. My baby is 3 weeks today. Oh, congratulations, Sylvia. Oh, everybody's got the little newborns at home. I love it. Oh, awesome. I'm glad, Carla. So I also plan to join those groups, especially once fall comes and things become a bit more isolating with the change of weather. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Sylvia. We got this. Still have a glimmer of hope to have another baby. Is it okay to ask her age when you have the baby? You don't have to answer if that's rude. Oh, no, that's not rude. I was 52. I started my journey at 46 in 2017. I had a miscarriage. And then I had a miscarriage. I want to say it was the end of April. And then in May, I officially started my journey. And so, yeah, it took 6 years. But I eventually ended up going to donor eggs. But I tried, my first transfer was with my own egg. And then that's a whole other convoluted story. Because now I don't even know if it was the donor egg. Because I had four transfers with donor eggs. This is number 5. And that's after I added an immune protocol. So I always wonder, like, if we would have done the immune protocol. But I was only getting one egg at a time. So that was not fruitful. You know what I mean? So it all ended up how it was supposed to end up. This one chose me to be his mom. I'm grateful for that, but that will always be in the back of my mind. But I would say go for it. If you can find a doctor that will work with you and set realistic expectations. Of course, they're going to throw out the donor eggs. Try not to be offended. I know I was absolutely offended the first time. Some of the doctors could use a little, I don't know if it's bedside manner. They could just phrase things a little gentler, I would say. But in the end, what I came to was like, I'm going to become a mom again, just in a different way than I had imagined. Do you know what I mean? But the amount of love that I have for this little one, I can't even express. Like, he's mine all day, every day. You know what I mean? And then there's epigenetics. So I carried him. So there's that. And then nursing him has helped the bond. Like, we're just absolutely in love with each other. So it's a beautiful thing. And I'm like, I just can pinch myself every time I'm like, I have a son. Had my second baby on my 47th birthday. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm 45 and currently 7 months. Oh, we did that. Hey, Lala. I'm 41 and would love one more. Yes, let's get these babies, ladies. Of course. Hey, course correction. Thank you for all your kind words in the comments. I appreciate you. October 27th. Okay. Nice. Thank you. So October, I don't know what that is. Wait a minute. Is that a Virgo? No. September. That'd be, I don't know what October is. Maybe is that, yeah, I don't know. Let me not guess. Tact. Tact. Thank you. Yeah, some doctors should have a little more tact in how they present it. Because the first time someone told me about donor eggs, she was like, "Oh yeah, the baby will pop out and you'll immediately feel bonded to it." Like no precursor. And at that time I was very new. I hadn't joined like chat groups or anything else. So I didn't understand like what the odds were, what the chances were. Do you know what I mean? So I think also that's on me, like to be prepared. But I do think that she could have been more tactful in how she introduced the topic and how, if she could have gone over the success rates, etc. I mean, knowing me, I still would have tried with my own my own eggs, but it would have been easy. I don't know. I just felt offended the way she said it. And I don't know why now looking back at it, I think it was lack of understanding. But yeah, you just think, oh, I'm gonna have somebody else's baby. That's what I thought. But obviously I got over that. So this is the $1,000,000 question, B Sarah. And I think also this is what's making me emotional. So I'm 52 right now, right? So when he's 20, I'll be 72. Which also makes me think when he's 20, I'll be 72. Like he needs a companion, like that's his age, because his sister is 29 years older than he is. So I would like to. I would have to have a C-section because I would be able to do it faster. And I feel like I would need to have the baby while I was 53. Like, I don't think I should be waiting until 54, 55. You know what I mean? So I would attempt to, and God willing, if I got pregnant in time, then yes. But the doctor, the MFM, maternal fetal medicine doctor, the specialist OB, I don't know why I air quoted. She's a specialist OB. Like legit. Said that I could try when he's 9 months. Do I think that I will be mentally, financially, spiritually ready when he's 9 months? No. But maybe when he's 12 months, because she wants 18 months in between births. So he was born June 2nd. So she would not want me to deliver another baby June 1st or before. June 2nd or after, she would be fine with that. Right. And that would have to be cesarean. If I wanted to try a VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean, VBAC, then I would have to wait 24 months. So so he'd have to be 15 months before I could try. It'd have to be 24 months between the births. So he was 2023. So 24, I couldn't deliver before June, or I couldn't deliver June 1, 2025, which I feel like at that point I would be too old. You know what I mean? I know I'm splitting hairs because people were like, you're already in your 50s, but to me that matters. And they would be closer together. But the thing is, like, all of my family, except for Cheyenne, well, the majority of them, some of them live in the DC area, DMV area, but they live in California. And so would I go back to California? I feel like that would make sense. So that would be nearer to my family. What does childcare look like, right? Because childcare for him is going to run me about $3,500 a month. And so do they double that for 2 children? Do you get a discount? Do I get someone to come into the house at that point? So there's like a lot of logistics to figure out. And like, what does my support system look like in the meantime? Because obviously I did not plan out my support system that well this go around. So I did the best that I could with the information that I had. Let me stop judging myself. But I would plan differently in the future, right? So all of those things kind of have to be answered. And then how many could I afford to do? Like probably only 1 or 2 realistically, because I have a responsibility to him. I have to pay for his school, everything else. So how many times? I don't think more than 2. So all of those are coming into play, but it's definitely in my mind. And I would love for him to be a big brother. It would be nice for him to have a little sister or another, or not another brother, have a little brother. I have another boy. Yeah, but it's all very interesting. I will say too, like I don't know, I might do a video on this. I always feel weird about doing the cost of stuff, but at least just to share the cost of the birth, because I was not expecting that. One, I already met my deductible, right? So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have to pay a deductible again. And I had done something. I signed up for this like wellness program, so I wasn't gonna have to pay for my I want to say entry fee, but that's not right. Whatever, some fee I got waived. But his deductible hasn't been met because I had to add him to the insurance. So it was like starting from scratch from him. Then they put me in a private room, both for delivery, which I didn't end up delivering in that room. Then I had surgery. Then I was in a private room for recovery. And I was in the hospital a total of 7 days, 6 nights and 7 days. That bill is crazy. So I actually need to call, there's like a advocate group that the company has. I actually need to call them and see like what exactly I'm responsible for, because the insurance will send you explanation of benefits and it'll say this is the part you're responsible for, but then the care provider doesn't always bill you for that. But like I think for the room alone, like they put that I was responsible for $13,000, and I was like, sis, that the service wasn't that great. You know what type of resort I could stay in for $13,000, and you figure I was in that second private room. When did I get there? Friday night. Yeah, Friday night to Tuesday. So that was the majority of my stay. But still, I was like, oh my God. And nobody asked me if I mean, I'm glad I did have a private room. My sister stayed the first night of delivery, not my first night in the hospital stay. The night that I delivered, she stayed there. But yeah, that's like a whole other thing. So the good thing is with another baby, my insurance wouldn't go up because I'm on the family plan, right? They have you go from single person to married, which would be two. And then from married, as soon as you add a child, it becomes a family plan. Even though I don't have a spouse, I could get married and he'd be on my insurance and it wouldn't cost any more than what it's costing now for me and Sugar Bear. So, and once you're on the family plan, I could add one more child. It's not going to make the insurance go up. Of course, I then have two more deductibles in addition to myself to pay for. So there's all of those things to kind of factor in, like what does that look like financially? And also I am advanced age. Like, am I going to retire? Have I budgeted enough to be taken out of my 401k, or to be taken and put into my 401k and my stocks? You know what I mean? I have to look at all of that. Am I willing to work till 75? So there's just like so many, probably yes. Like I don't actually imagine not working. Like my mom is 70 and she's still working. Like I think that's what I'm struggling with here is like, what does productivity mean when you're at home? And I'm trying to be like, I have to clean, and that is not in alignment with like focusing on this little one. So yeah, but the plan is we'll see how it works out. But physically, hey Tamara, thank you. Physically, I'm prepping for that. So I'm still obviously I'm eating well because I'm breastfeeding, but I'm also thinking about like if I'm going to carry again, what do I need to be doing? So I'm continuing my omegas, which is good for him. The DHA is good for his brain, but I had to have the heightened omegas before to kind of stave off the inflammation issues for my last transfer to be successful. So some of those things. So we'll see. But like I don't have time to like fall out of TTC and then fall back in. Like I have to keep my mind on keeping my body ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. You know what I mean? I had my last two at 34 and 36, and the California doctors treated me like I was an elderly. Oh my God, that's crazy. The advanced maternal age, they give you that story, or geriatric patient. I have to say, I was a spectacle at the hospital. Extra nurses came by to see me. The social worker came by. She was like, "Oh, I'm making my rounds." The first social worker was a Black lady, LGBTQ. And so I was like, "Hey, fam." And I was like, "What?" She laughed about something. I was like, is everybody coming through to see the old lady with the baby? She was like, yeah, you're inspiring people out there. So she kind of told everybody, like, they're looking at my chart. They're coming in. They're like, oh, you're moving around well. Like, I don't know what y'all think 52 looks like, or maybe what it looks like in your life, but I'm spry. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be going through this if I'm like in a walker. And so it just is interesting how people's perception is. Do I feel 42? I don't, compared to the 42 that I was, but hell, there's some 42-year-olds who are moving around less than I am now at 52. You know what I mean? So it's all relative. You have to know yourself. I think doctors just look at a chart. They're like, you're this age, you're a geriatric, blah, blah, blah. My pregnancy went really well. Like I don't have high blood pressure. I didn't get it going throughout the pregnancy. I'm not diabetic. I didn't become diabetic during the pregnancy. The only thing I had was the hydrominose, which that ended up being idiopathic. Like sometimes it could be an indication that something is wrong with the baby. It ended up just being a thing. And they were like, maybe he's just eating and peeing a lot, right? Because I had excess amniotic fluid. But other than that, We had one stress test. It was fine. I didn't have to do a stress test again. Where I know some people in the geriatric group have to go every week for a stress test. I didn't have to do that. So it was fairly straightforward. I don't feel like I was putting my life at risk. So I wouldn't feel bad having another one because obviously I need to be alive to raise him. So it would be foolish to not be well and try to do it again. You know what I mean? Like we kind of all know, have a sense of what we can manage. Where are you, Yasmin? You're having dinner. Um, Thank you. Hey, Sochi, how are you? Oh my God. Oh no, I raised him. How are you? How are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, it is a Sagittarius. I was gonna say that because my sister's a Sag, but she's December. So that's why I was like October 26th. Ah, that's interesting. My sister is December 3rd, and she's a Sag. I'm very confused. Okay. 47, it's been 10 years, still trying for baby one. Had two losses. Oh, I'm so sorry for your losses. I mean, yes, it is horrible. I had three miscarriages on the way to Sugar Bear. So it, draw inspiration from where you will. Obviously, you have to acknowledge your losses, right, and where you are, and assess what you can do going forward. I think for me, that was the hardest part. So, like, I took a year off before I had the transfer with Sugar Bear because I just mentally could not take another loss. And people were like, oh, you won't have a loss. You have to stay positive. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. There, it is a possibility. And if it happens again, I have to be mentally ready for it, right? You can't just keep doing it, and then having your soul crush every time. So I had to be able to do it and be accepting of the outcome, whatever it was. So I had to take time off. And I think that was the hardest because I did not find like a listening ear. Everyone I was saying, and I mean most of them are TTC sisters, but they were like, oh, just keep going, just keep going. And I felt like my mental health wasn't being acknowledged. The things that I needed to be okay were not being acknowledged. At the end of your baby having journey, do you plan to donate them? The Yasmin flower, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you consider that I went through 5 of the 10 to get Sugar Bear, it could be possible to go through 5 or 4 again or 5 again. So I don't know. It's too soon to say. I don't think I would donate them though. I think that would be well, maybe if we could do open adoption so that he would know his other siblings because they would be full-blooded siblings, right? So, so that way he's not dating his sister or brother accidentally. Um yeah, I don't know. That's a complex question for me. Thank you, Carmela. I appreciate you. I remember going to infertility specialist. 38 donor eggs were suggested right off. I immediately said no. Now at 44, still childless, donor eggs are a blessing. Really, at 38, they started. I mean, I guess it depends on what your workup is. That was the other thing that annoyed me about the doctor. It was my first visit. We hadn't done any blood work. She hadn't even looked at my uterus and, or anything, like I'm being dramatic, but she hadn't looked at my antral follicle count. None of my workup had been done. Like I'm sitting in her office for the first time and she's like, oh, you need to do donor eggs. I would not do your own eggs for you. So I stayed with her, again, not knowing better, and did a bunch of IUIs, wasted time and money. So you live and you learn. I'm a single mom by choice through adoption. Oh, congratulations. My baby is 5 years old and going into kindergarten. Multiple moms of kids in his class are over 50. It's an independent school, but I feel like it's becoming more common. Yay. I'm glad to hear that. I would love to hear about the adoption process. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Please share the cost. I feel like that's some of the hidden info that no one knows and you could prepare if someone told you. It's hard though, course correction, because it also depends on like your specific insurance and what your needs are. But I definitely will share the hospital costs. Because I feel like a room is a room is a room, right? It's not the same as like your specific but again, I'll read it all out because I'll say like what the hospital charged, what my insurance covered, and what was remaining. Because there is, I want to say there's a contracted price. So the hospital, for example, may charge $75,000, but they have a contract with like Independent Blue Cross that they will pay no more than 27,000. So then a hospital has to figure out what the difference is, and then the insurance does a calculation on. Yes, sir. Are you talking to me? Oh, you want this? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention. Okay. Is that better? Um, then the hospital does a calculation. I mean, not the hospital, the insurance on what my part is based on what my deductible is, and what the co-pay is, or co-insurance is what they call it, what the co-insurance is. Um, so yeah, I'll do a video on it after I get my birth story done and the hospital story and what's in my bag, what was in my bag. I still haven't unpacked my suitcase because I want to do what was in my bag for you guys. Trifling. I know. I'm gonna get that done this week though. Never lose hope. Like, exactly. Never lose hope. Where there's a will, there's a way. And there's so many avenues. I think too, people kept asking me, well, why don't you do surrogacy? And it was like, well, I don't know if it's the embryos. I don't know if it's my uterus. I don't know what's going on. So sometimes surrogacy is not the quick fix that everybody thinks it is, nor is adoption the quick fix that because there were people, obviously I'm social with all of this information. People will comment like, why didn't you just adopt? There's all these Black kids who need adoption. And on the one video I did about the sperm donor, they're like, people are commenting, oh, you just don't want the sperm of Black men and this is happening and that's happening. And it's like, no, we're expressing that Black men are not donating. The reason for this conversation, or not that they're not donating. They're not donating in the same fashion that non-Black men are, right? Or in the same quantities. And so that was the reason for the conversation. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, some people are out there giving it away every Saturday night. Like, make a conscious decision to help somebody out. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, sometimes people are like, why don't you just adopt? I hear that all the time. And there's no such thing as just adopt. That is also complicated. That is also costly. That is also heartbreaking. They're two different journeys. To a take-home child, but one is not easier than the other. So I think we have to be careful when we're like, why don't you just do XYZ? So yeah. My first and second FET failed with PGTA normal embryos. Now I'm scheduled for a laparoscopy. Your journey has helped me feel less alone. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, that is my goal, right? I didn't want to feel alone. And I'm like, if there's other people out there that I can connect with, we'll all feel less alone. Even if we don't know each other personally, at least we know we have a story in common, or a goal in common, our take-home baby. I love the shots of your food. It inspires me to get fruit. Oh, nice. Oh my God, I did a parfait today with yogurt. This is the first time I was walking home from Rite Aid yesterday, and there's like the little street markets in Harlem, and I got some strawberries and some blueberries. So good. They were so yummy. And so I sliced up strawberries. I had strawberry yogurt, this chocolate based granola. It has like chunks of dark chocolate in it, and I did layers of like strawberries, granola, yogurt. It was yummy. Yes, thank you. I'm in Germany, LOL. It's 22. Oh, nice. Okay, so 11, 22. I think that, oh no, that's 10, right? 10:30. Nice. You're having dinner a little late though, right? I want some German food. Sauerkraut is good for fertility too, and it has probiotics in it. Not to say that you're eating sauerkraut. It just, that made me think of that. I had 4 transfers and all failed with PGTA, tested embryos and laparoscopy. Oh no. Yeah. I did not test my embryos, nor did I do the testing when I was pregnant. What is that called? The non-invasive prenatal, NPIT, NIPT, non-invasive prenatal testing. I didn't do that either. Um, yeah, I have a couple videos on my thoughts on that, but yeah. Doctor suspected silent endometriosis. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they thought I had that at the end too. So my last protocol, I had Lupron. Because they can't actually tell unless they remove your uterus, right? So yeah. You give me a lot of hope. Oh, good. It's possible. Listen, I came back from the dregs of like despair of like, oh no, this is never gonna happen, to, in the beginning, if you go back and watch some of my early videos, I was like, I'm never going to do donor eggs. That's going to be the line for me. I also was like, if I don't have a baby by 50, I'm going to stop. Like, all that went out the window. The heart wants what it wants. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know, maybe God was testing me, like, how bad do you want this? I'm going to give it to you, but I'm going to give it to you on my terms. And you're going to be grateful. And yes, sir, I absolutely am. No regrets. Would you put back 2 3BB or 1 5A all untested? Oh, I don't know, Jamila. That is a hard question. One, I don't have the option of putting back 2. I also don't know what your clinic grades are because I think they vary by. But what is your RE recommending? Well, better yet, what is the embryologist recommending? I'm assuming the 5AA is better. That's why you're saying only 1. I think I would put in the highest graded one. So 5AA is the graded one. No, I know I would. That was a strategy we did. But if you keep in mind, then that means Sugar Bear was the 5th graded down, right? I had 4 others before that. So the first 2, I think, were something A, whatever they were the highest. I have them in a notebook. I just don't remember now. But yeah, I would start with the highest. And pray. It's actually Scorpio, but one site gave me Sagittarius. Okay. Oh, Scorpio. Scorpios are interesting. Okay. 1. I think your answer, and Jamila, you would put back 1. Hey, love. Have to be our own. Yes, we do. And that's why information is key. But you also have to find a doctor that will partner with you. Because I will tell you, like, part of my issue in the hospital, the pediatrician did not want to partner with me. And that just turned into a whole other thing. And basically was threatening to send me home without my baby, which they would have needed to call the sheriff, sis. But yeah, you have to be informed, but also be open because there are some things that we read and we may not have the full context. So that's what I loved about Dr. McConnell. Like I could send her a study and tell her, here's what I'm pulling from it. Here's what I'm extrapolating. What do you think about this? And what are you guys, because they have like a whole council there and they sit around and discuss the cases. Like, what have you guys come to as the outcome of this or the indicators? And she would always share. But that's sometimes doctors don't want to do that. They just want to talk at you. But I do think we have a responsibility to do some research on our own and like come to the table semi-informed or at least inquisitive. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go soon. I think he wants the boob and he's tired of this plastic nipple. Single mom by choice to 2 boys by IUI, now contemplating number 3, but think I'm crazy. So happy for you. Oh, I don't think you're crazy, Laura. Go for it. 2 boys. That's fun. I will definitely be outnumbered. I feel outnumbered now with the 2 puppy, well, not their dogs now, but the 2 dogs and the baby. But yeah, I don't know. Children are such a blessing. And I think to have, I'm not saying have 9, although I have been watching the Grim Wades, their vlogs. They have 7 now. I remember when they first started on YouTube, I think they have 4 or 5. And they blew up. They bought a big house. They got a TV show in the UK now. And okay. Okay, don't post anymore. I'm going to answer these questions, then I'm going to get off of here. Adoption is not easy. It's not exactly. I know people who've gone through it. Well, actually, my cousin has an adopted child, and it was a long process. Do you already have childcare when you go back? Hey, Boston Girl TV. I'm on a wait list. I have not been confirmed yet. So I guess the answer is technically no. But I did do a video on my childcare search. It's at the Goddard School. Adoption is expensive as well, I heard. Yeah, and like my company would pay, they would reimburse. I don't know why I keep air quoting, but meaning you have to pay out of your pocket first, $20,000. So that told me right there it was going to be expensive and that it was going to be more than $20,000. He is so precious. Hi, Sabrina. Thank you. I know you have. Okay. All right, ladies. I'm going to have to wrap it up. He's ready for a boob and not this plastic bottle. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you later. Bye.